Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Excellencies, distinguished delegates, Assalamu alaikum and good afternoon to you all. I thank the Prime Minister of Spain and President of European Council for convening this meeting. We recognize that the international financial architecture needs urgent reforms, but agreement on the nature and extreme of the reforms remains lacking. Political will is important. Excellencies, Bangladesh has long been credited for its sound macroeconomic management. Our economy grew by 8.15% just before the pandemic, and we reduced our poverty level from 41.9% to 18.7%, and extreme poverty level from 25.5% to 5.6%. But due to COVID-19 pandemic and because of the Ukraine war, the inflation become high, and we are suffering. But still, we are maintaining our GDP 6 to 7%. It was reduced further only for 3 months, 3%, but now we recover. Now it is 6 to 7% we maintain. The health, cost of living, climate crisis have put our economy under stress. We are trying to curb inflation, manage balance of payment, and maintain our development expenditure. There are evident strains on our fiscal and policy space. Excellencies, we often find international public finances to be costly and out of reach. We try to stay clear of high interest rate loans to avoid debt distress. Bangladesh has never defaulted on its loan payment, and we hope to maintain that record. We agree with the UN Secretary General that the global credit rating system must be reviewed. The current rating system further restricts access to funds for many low and middle income countries. The limits of their voting rights, quotas, and representation in MDBS and IFIS also undermine their bargaining power. Excellencies, again in the words of the Secretary General, a fundamental shift is required. I take this opportunity to emphasize 5 points. First, MDBS, IFIS, and private lending agencies must realign their priorities and mobilize additional funds for SDG implementation and climate action. Second, funds need to be made available for developing countries at low cost, concessional rates, and preferably in higher quantity of grants. Third, all lending instruments should have disaster clauses to allow vulnerable countries to absorb shocks during crisis. Fourth, fair and effective debt relief measure needs to be given priority based on coordination and transparency among creditors. And fifth, instead of quota, SDR borrowing limits should be based on needs and vulnerability, supported by easy lending process. Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, It is critical for the international financing architecture to be inclusive and representative of the global South. Development narratives from countries like Bangladesh demonstrate that we can do our part. It is time for the international financial system to respond to our expectations. I thank you all.